Welcome to WP Beginner, and thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'll walk you through how to start your own online store using WordPress and WooCommerce. And we'll cover it step by step so you can get up and selling quickly. So let's take a look at what we'll cover in this tutorial. First, I'll walk you through the process of registering your domain name. A domain name is what people type in to get to your website, and it's your website's address on the internet. For instance, Google's address is google.com. Ours, WP Beginner, is wpbeginner.com, so I'll show you how to get your address for your website. Next, we'll set up hosting for your website. Web hosting is where your website lives and breathes. It's your site's house on the internet, and every website needs web hosting. So we'll walk through setting up hosting for your website. And since we're building an online store, we also need to set up SSL Certificate. This makes your site secure for online transactions, and I'll show you how you can get it for free. We'll install WordPress, which will be the foundation of your website. And since we're creating the store, we'll use WooCommerce that will turn your site into an e-commerce shop. Once we're done with that, we'll add products to your store, and then we'll customize the site using a theme. This will give your site the look and feel that you want. Next, we'll cover plugins. Plugins are like apps for WordPress, and it lets you add new features to your site. These are things like contact form, photo galleries, a newsletter sign-up form, and more. So we'll cover how to do that as well. So if you're ready, let's get started. The first 5 steps we'll actually cover together because we can get all of that through the hosting company. At WP Beginner, we recommend Bluehost as your hosting provider. For one, they have great customer support. They are one of the oldest, most established hosting companies. They are officially recommended by WordPress.org. They already have a package deal with WooCommerce and WordPress, so everything will be done together for us. And normally the cost to set up a store breaks down like something like this. You have a domain cost that's around $14.99 a year. Hosting averages about $7.99 a month. And to get an SSL certificate can usually cost you between $69 to over $100 a year. And that can get a little pricey for startup costs. As a WP Beginner user, since we've been working with Bluehost for several years, you'll be getting a free domain, a free SSL certificate, and a discounted hosting package, which basically brings down your starting cost to about $13.95 a month. To get that discount, make sure you go to a new tab, open up a web browser, go to www.wpbeginner.com/refer/Bluehost-e-commerce. We'll also have a link below for you as well. You know you're on the right page when you see the WordPress plus WooCommerce section, and this is the one we want. So let's click Get Started Now. From this screen, you just want to pick the package that is right for you. Both of these are good. The starter is probably what I would recommend simply because it's a little less expensive and it has everything we need to get started. So I'll pick that one. On this screen, you want to put in your domain name that you have chosen for your store. And remember that this comes free with this package. So let's click Next. From here, you want to create your account. So you want to fill out this information. And after that, you want to choose the package information that you want. Now for domain privacy protection and all of these others, we actually recommend that you can turn them off. Backup items, there are several great backup features that you can get within WordPress. So I'll remove that. There are also several site security items that you can find within WordPress. Next, you want to fill out your credit card information. Then after that, you'll get your login information so we can log in and get started. Okay, now that we've set up our account, we'll need to create a password. This password is what we will use to log into our hosting account. Once we find an appropriate password and check off the I have read the privacy terms and service, we'll click Next. Now we can log into our account to get started. As you see here, it's already just installing WordPress and WooCommerce for us, so there's nothing else we need to do for that. Once the installation is complete, you'll get a green button where you can log into your site. When you first log in, this is what it will look like. You see a big welcoming screen. Over here are all of the areas that you can work on for your site. And we're actually going to close this out and say we don't need help. Once we close that out, we'll see more of our dashboard. Okay, before we do anything else to the site, let's do a couple of things to set it up properly. I want to go down to my settings area, general, and you see right here is the site title. I actually want to name that. This will be the name that you want your site to be, and maybe the tagline that you want your site to have. Down here, we want to actually change this to HTTPS for both of these because we want to make sure that everybody is using our encrypted and secured socket layer, the SSL certificate that we talked about. So we'll add that. Go ahead and update your email address so you make sure that you get all your emails that you need. Once we do that, you'll want to scroll down and make sure you click Save Changes. Now don't worry, if you see an error like this, that just means that Bluehost is still setting up your SSL certificate. So just take a break and you can come back to it later. When it does finally work, you'll see up here that it says secure. So let's go ahead and log in. You should have received an email from Bluehost with this login information. All right, now that our site is secure and we have WordPress set up, let's take a moment to check off all the things that we've done so far. So far, we've registered our domain name for free with Bluehost. We chose our hosting provider, which was Bluehost. We got a SSL certificate for the website, also free. Bluehost installed WordPress and WooCommerce for us. And now we just need to set up WooCommerce and start filling it up with products of our own. So let's do that next. Okay, now that we're back at our dashboard, the next thing we want to do is go ahead and set up WooCommerce. And they have this great little run the setup wizard right here that we can click, and it'll walk us through the whole process. You see the welcoming page, so let's go ahead and click Let's Go. And here it's telling you that these are the pages that will be set up for our site. They'll be automatically created for us. We have the shop, cart, checkout, and my account. So those will automatically be created. So let's click on Continue. The next thing we need to set up is our location. This is helpful if you're doing shipping. It'll automatically pull a lot of this information from there. Also, it'll pull for tax purposes. So you can just use the drop down to say where it is located. The type of currency that you want to use, we'll leave it as dollars, and we'll leave it for pounds for us, as well as product dimensions will stay in inches. We'll continue. This is where you want to set up your shipping and tax setup. Again, if you're shipping physical products, you want to say, yeah, I'll be shipping that here. You'll want to talk with your accountant to see if you'll be charging sales tax. I'm going to leave that unchecked just to simplify things. But again, you'll want to talk with your accountant on what to do best. The next step is to set up payments. WooCommerce by default allows for PayPal standard, check payments, bank transfers, cash on delivery. That means if you're selling hand to hand. And then we also have Stripe set up. So we're going to use PayPal standard. So we're going to use PayPal standard. It's the easiest way to get set up. And that's if you already have a PayPal account, then you just enter the PayPal email address associated with your PayPal account. Now I will say, once you get set up and once you're happy with everything, go ahead and at a later date, take a look at Stripe. Many companies, including us, we use both PayPal and Stripe. PayPal is great because of the ease of use. However, once somebody is checking out of your store, they are sent to PayPal to finish the transaction, and then they are returned back to your store. Whereas with Stripe, everything is done from your website alone, and it's a very easy process. So at a later date, you might want to get in and look at that. So we have everything set up for ours. We'll click Continue. And now we've done everything that we need for the website. So we can actually create our first product. I actually want to show you how to do that from your dashboard, since you'll be doing that a lot from there. So I'm going to click Return to WordPress Dashboard so I can show you how to do it from the back end of your website. Once we're in our dashboard area, if you go over here on the left under WooCommerce, there's Products area. And this is where you'll go to add all of your products. I'm going to show you what it looks like to just add a product. Put in a t-shirt. And as we scroll down, I'll show you some items. Scrolling all the way down, this is the information you want to fill out for your t-shirt. It's a good idea to put in a regular price and then to do the sales price. So most people will show you, you'll see a sale on the item, so you can enter that. Under inventory, if these are a managed stock item, then you can click manage it, and it will keep track of the quantity. So that's great for physical products. If this is a virtual electronic type thing or a downloadable, then you can click that here. If you click downloadable, then you'll be able to upload your ebook or whatever the download is to be able to sell straight from your site. Shipping, that's where you have to decide what the weight is, and that will help with the shipping costs. Linked product, that's great for upsells. Once you have more products in here, you can cross-sell them in the linked products area. Attributes and advanced are more detailed in the WooCommerce getting started page, but you don't need to add that for your first product. Scrolling down, you can add your description for the product. And let's scroll up and to the right. Categories. You want to set up some categories. For instance, we're selling a t-shirt. Say if you want to sell a hat or mugs, maybe add those types of categories as well. So I'm going to click right here and add new product category. And I will do t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and do mugs just to show you. I'm going to deselect that though, because we're just selling a t-shirt. From here, you want to add the product image. From here, you want to upload your t-shirt that you have. From here, you want to upload the images for your product. Now that's your product image that you have for it. If you have multiple images, you can add them down here. So now scrolling back up, we now have our first product. The last thing we want to do is click publish. And now I'm going to right click on this to open it up into a new tab so we can see what it looks like. And there's our first product. And it looks pretty good. You notice it's a very basic theme, and maybe you want to change that, and that's what we'll do next. By default, when Bluehost set up our WordPress and our WooCommerce, they also set up this theme, and it's called Storefront Theme. I'm going to close this out, and we're going to go back to our back end of our we're going to go back to our dashboard. I always like to start from here just to show you where we are. So from the dashboard, let's scroll down to our appearance over here, and let's go to themes. This is the theme that is active on our site. You see that here, and it's the one available for us. By default, when WordPress is first installed, they'll typically add a few other themes. These always come with WordPress, but you can also go in and either purchase premium theme, or you can go and look at WordPress.org themes, or if you already have one of your own, you can upload it here. So let's go on the WordPress.org themes. These are free themes. They are tested by the people at WordPress to make sure that they will work with WordPress. And as you see here, it's broken down into different types. You can either do featured, the most popular, the most recent, created. You can create your own favorites. They have a premium section here, and you can also do a feature filter. And for instance, we can click on e-commerce and apply that filter, and it should bring back only the ones that are deemed an e-commerce site. I'm going to clear all of the filters and click back on featured just to get back to a starting spot. And I just want to put in WooCommerce. After typing in WooCommerce, you see all of these coming up for you. You can go through and pick the one that you want best. This is a clean commerce site, so we're going to click install just to show you how to install a new theme. So I'm installing it. Once it's installed, you also want to click activate. That now makes this theme the activated theme for our site. And you see it's now active. And the storefront is over here. It's still available for us, but it's not our active one. So I'm going to right click and see what it looks like in a new window. I'll click on shop to see what it all looks like. And that's a real quick way to change out themes. Since this is a very simple theme, I'm going to go back to that one, and then I'll show you how you can make changes to it. You see down here, we can click customize. And these are all of the items that we can change out. As you see, when I change this, it updates here. However, the update is not actually live until we click save and publish. So you'll just want to go through here, change your site identity. You can add a header image here if you want. You can change out the background color. That is for up here. You see as we're changing it, it's changing over here as well. If you already know the color that you want, you can type that in here. Definitely want to keep playing with that until you're happy with the color scheme. If you've gone too far with things, you can just click default and it'll take you back to what it initially had. Scrolling down, this is for the footer area. You can change that here as well. And each theme has its own setup. So what you see here might be different than what the theme you have. You can add your background images if you want. You can change the color for your font or your typography. If you want your buttons to stand out more, this is the button. So if you want it to be orange or green or some other color, you can change that here. Same thing with the text color. For the layout, you can choose to have this area on the left instead. Most people are used to the sidebar being on the right, but you have that option to change it. The menu locations, the menus, that's this area up here. And right now there are no menus created. So by default, they're just pulling in all of our current pages. We'll actually go in and set that up separately. So I'm going to click off of that. Same thing with the widgets area. Over here on the right, these are all widgets that are being pulled in. And this is where those all are right here. You can drag and drop them. I'm left click dragging and dropping them and rearranging them. You can also remove them by just expanding it and clicking remove. And then if you wanted to add a widget, these are all the widgets that you can choose from to add one. As you see, there are several WooCommerce specific widgets that you can add. Once we're done with that, we'll go back. For static front page, if I go to my home section, you'll see that it actually is showing the most recent posts. That's typical for WordPress, but if you want a static front page, you could create a home page saying thank you, and that be your home page when somebody comes to your main site. Since you're setting up a web store, it'd probably be a good idea to use shop as your home page, and that way most of your products are on the front page for you. And then if you're setting up a blog, I recommend creating a blog page and then using that for all of your posts. Heading back here, if you need to add additional CSS to make some tweaks to all of your design and you know what those are, you can put them here. And then under more, it's just telling you that there are more options if you want to extend it by adding the Pro functionality. So for us, we've done a lot of the setup for that. We can click Save and Publish. And now all of those items that we've changed are now live on our site. And as you see it, when I click Home, that's now the shop page. We now have blog page up here. And that's where all of our blog items will be. Next thing we want to do is just change out this menu item. So we'll do that separately. So I'm going to click out the X. Under Appearance, let's go to Menus. And we want to create a new menu. We'll name it Main. I want to click Create Menu. Once I click Create, now I have all of these pages and any posts that you want, any custom links that you want, we can add all of that here. The main thing I want to add is blog, cart, my account. We'll add those. You can even rearrange them by left click dragging them. A lot of people will add a custom link and call it home and add that to the menu so that when somebody wants to go to your home page, they can. And we'll put that up at the top. Now that we've created this menu, we need to save it. And now we need to assign the location of that. And that's under Manage Locations. So I'm going to click under Manage Locations. And the primary menu, which is usually for the top. Again, each theme will be different. But for us, we'll click the main menu that we just created. We'll set that as the primary. And again, we need to click Save Changes. Now we have most of our site set up. If you've noticed while we've been talking, we've had this Coming Soon page. So anybody who's been accessing our site who's not logged in, they see a landing page that says Coming Soon. We want to go ahead and turn that off. So let's click on this. And now it says that it's live. So now we can view it. Okay. And you see here is our new shorter menu item. We have the search products up here. We have our shop and we have our product. The next thing that we want to look at is how to extend our online store by using plugins. All right, now that we have our theme and our products added to our site, we want to extend some of the functionality of our WordPress website. We can do that by adding a plugin. And that's exactly what a plugin is it's basically an app that lets your WordPress website do more than it does originally. It extends the functionality of it. And I'll show you where that is. If you go over from your WordPress dashboard, scroll down to the plugins area and click on plugins. And what it'll do right now is show us all the plugins we currently have installed. By default, Bluehost installs all of these plugins when we set up our WooCommerce. And in fact, WooCommerce is a plugin. So we've already been working with plugins. As an example for this site, I'm going to walk you through how to install a contact form. Contact form is a great way for users to get in touch with you without you exposing your email address for spammers to collect. So we're going to do that. So up at the top of plugins, we want to click on Add New. We're going to search for WP Forms, lightweight and user-friendly plugin. Click Install Now. And we need to activate it. All right, now that's activated, we want to scroll down till we find the WP Forms, and we need to click Add New. We want to add a simple contact form. And as you see it come up, it's a very intuitive way to add a Contact Us. They already have a few templates to choose from. The simple contact form is what we'll use, so I'll click that. And it'll go in and actually create the whole form for me. I can click on a field and on the format, if I want to choose simple, which is what I prefer, just one simple form field, then I'm going to do that. But everything else looks great. You can reorder them if you wanted to by clicking and dragging them here. Under Settings, Notifications, you just want to make sure it's set up to send to the correct email address. By default, it'll pull in your admin email that you first set up when creating the WordPress site. But you could change that here. Now that we have everything done, let's click Save, and we'll close that out. Now we need to add this to a page. So we're going to go over to Pages area. We want to click Add New. Type in Contact Us. Right here we have a new button, and we'll choose the form that we want to use. Contact Us is the only one, so we'll click Add Form. You'll see it adds some code. It's called a shortcode in WordPress, and you'll want to leave that as it is. We can click Publish, and now that page is live on our site. I can click on the permalink here, and you'll see it in action on our website. So very nicely done, and it's already set up just for us. And so that's a really quick way to add a plugin. If there are other things that you want to add, just go through the Add New area, look through the repository for whatever it is you're looking for, and test out the plugins and see what works for you. The final thing I recommend is getting more active and learning about WordPress to help grow your online business. You can do that by visiting our WP Beginner Dictionary, going through all of the WP Beginner videos, reading through the WP Beginner blog, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we regularly share videos like this on how to get started and best practices. Did you learn something helpful from today's video? If so, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button right here. And thanks for watching.